Alongside John Chrisman, I'm Corey Probus. Happy holidays. Let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. John, we key on Troy Williams tonight, coming off a solid game on Saturday.
Oh, really a solid second half. All 16 of his 18 points in the second half, but it really needs to continue to improve his defense, and that's exactly what Robert Johnson brings to this starting lineup.
And that win on Saturday gave Indiana head coach Tom Crean win number 130 in Bloomington and career win number 320 in 17 overall seasons as a Division I head coach. Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineups for the Owls of Kennesaw State. Not a very deep team. They'll need a big game, John, from number 4, Yonel Brown, here tonight.
Yeah, Yonel Brown certainly has to light it up, but I think a lot of the playmaking is going to come from Kendrick Ray. He's got to make his teammates better and also score for himself.
Brown also 15 points shy of 1,000 in his career. A familiar name in a new place. Al Skinner, year number 1 with the Owls. Had a great run, 13 years at Boston College, where he went to the NCAA tournament 6 times. The opening tap is controlled by Nick Masterson, and the Owls have it to begin play tonight.
It's going to be interesting to see what Indiana did defensively. They had so much success in the second half with kind of a matchup zone, starting off man-to-man.
This is Bernard Morena up top, in the corner for 3, and it's up and good.
What was wrong? Well, that did. It started man, but they ended up switching back into a 2-3, which you saw there, just losing a shooter in the corner.
It's Kendrick Ray, redshirt junior, transfer from Quinnipiac, averaging 16 points per game. James Blackman Jr. Now to Troy Williams. Net for 3. His 5th 3 of the year, now 5 of 15 from beyond the arc, averaging 13 points per contest.
Hey, you'd like to see him just shoot that shot. Catches it in rhythm. The defense has to play off him a few feet because of his ability to play downhill. Good for him to get going early.
Morena. Now to Jordan Jones. This is Masterson. That's a deep 2 and air ball. The offensive chance there for the rebound could not be corralled by Morena. It'll be Indiana basketball.
And this is going to be a good game, really, for Indiana to figure out this defense. If they can have success with this matchup, it's going to cause a lot of problems for offenses that are already struggling with the 30-second shot clock. They're struggling to get going in their sets. This is a good way to take them out of it.
Indiana averaging 88 points per game, top scoring team in the Big Ten. Thomas Bryant inside and scores. Too easy.
Too easy. Good execution. You know, yes, too easy for Kennesaw State's got to play better defense, but good execution in the offensive set.
Freshman averaging 12 and 5 per game. This is Yonel Brown, met by Yogi Ferrell. Kennesaw State coming off a loss at Chattanooga on Saturday.
I mean, look already how the ball is sticking. The ball is just sticking. You know, a little chippy foul there for Yogi Ferrell, but the ball just stayed in one spot. That's because Indiana was trading off everything. Not a switching man, but a matchup zone. Good job so far.
Speaking of fouls, and Ferrell picks up his first. In the second half on Saturday, Indiana committed only 3 fouls in the second half of that game.
That was very Wisconsin of them.
Ray again for 3. That one doesn't go. Jones, the offensive rebound, brought it low, and Williams able to deflect it off the leg of Jones. It'll be Hoosiers' ball.
You know, there's going to be some things to figure out defensively. I think so far they're trading off cutters very well, but when a shot goes up, you do have to make sure you're occupying a man so that doesn't lead to offensive rebounds.
Non-conference game at home, of course, for Indiana, and since the 2010 season, the Hoosiers are 54-1 in home non-conference games. Bryant has it inside, up and under, off the glass and in. Bryant with 4.
Look, it's too easy. When you've got 6 inches on the man covering you and you're not going to double down, it's going to be all night for Thomas Bryant in the paint.
Ray hit that 3 for the Owls, 7 unanswered for Indiana. Masterson met by Blackman Jr. Yonel Brown, shot clock is under 10. Morena shooting over Bryant. Air ball, the tap, no, from Jones, and deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Indiana. Jones had a great chance for an easy 2.
If you're going to have this much of an advantage, you've got to find a way to double. Just like Butler did to Purdue, double down in the post, force the ball out of his hands. He's too skilled and too big to give him layups.
Using that big frame, 6'10", 245. walk it down.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen. A little miscommunication defensively. You're going to give up some easy baskets. But I still think so far you have to like what you see initially with Tom Crean sticking with his kind of matchup zone.
Yonel Brown picks up the personal foul, his first. Yonel Brown, a preseason Atlantic Sun all-conference selection. It's Tom Crean. In the corner for three. Off the mark. Williams skies for the offensive rebound and resets. Blackman again. Shooting 45% from beyond the arc, one of many lethal three-point shooters on this team.
And one of the things Tom Crean teaches, if you get an offensive rebound, immediately look to the three-point line. That's where you find open shooters. And happy to see James Blackman line it up again.
Averaging 16 per game. Hit 3 threes in the win over the Irish on Saturday. Masterson back out to Moreno. 18-footer doesn't go. Jones couldn't come around the rebound. Now the push. Williams. No look to Bryant. And a foul. So much fun to watch when Williams has some space with speed. And Bryant at the line shooting 2 when we come back. Early on, Indiana by 5.
Really dictating tempo.
Foul on Kennesaw State was on Kendrick Gray, his first, so a couple of free throws here for Thomas Bryant. Now, Tom Crean telling us today, and everybody keeps talking about the defense and at times lack thereof, but he said even though the offense has statistically been solid, there's still room for improvement as the Hoosiers get set for conference play.
There's room for improvement because they have to continue to move. They have to continue to attack. They have to play downhill because that's also going to be what sets the tone for their defense. If you attack on offense, play aggressively on defense, there's not a team in the country that can outscore this team.
7-point lead, the largest for Indiana tonight. With the left hand, no good off the mark for Moreno. Contested by Bryant. The putback is there for Ray. Troy Williams wasting little time, pushing it up the floor, trying to skip it along the baseline, and last touch by Masterson. It'll stay with Indiana. Speaking of the Hoosiers offense, the numbers really stand out. Where Indiana ranks statistically, not just in the Big Ten, but overall. Look at those numbers and all of NCAA basketball. 4th, 88 points per game. The three-point shooting, that's nothing new.
That's why I love doing games. I mean, seriously, I've always been somewhat of a fan of Hoosier basketball, but when you score near 90 points a game, shoot it like this team does, get up and down the floor like they do, it makes it fun for broadcasters.
Blackman hits his second three here tonight. Hoosiers hit 10 threes, 10 of 20 in the win on Saturday. 8-point game. Brown's been quiet, trying to change that, and does. Yonel Brown, again, 15 points shy of 1,000 in his career. His first field goal tonight.
And what Indiana's got to do there is keep the ball from getting to the high post. The ball got inside to the high post, kicks out to Yonel Brown for a wide open three. Just have to keep it out of the kind of the trouble areas if you're playing zone.
Max Bielfeldt will check in at the next whistle. As Johnson circles, this is Williams on the drive. Great lead for Bryant.
The ball movement, that's the man movement, the body movement. That's what Tom Crean wants, that type of pace, that kind of tempo offensively. And hopefully that can, again, pick up the tempo defensively where you're playing with a little more sense of urgency.
Ray over Bryant and scores. There's action there for Kennesaw State.
It's the same spot, though. It's that high post area. You have to keep the ball out of there. And whether it's going to be with ball pressure or bringing a man there, you got to keep it out.
Williams for three from the corner.
Or you could just outscore everybody. That's more fun for me.
Williams connects on his second three here tonight. He's double-figure scoring in 6 straight games. Indiana by 8. And now a steal. Robert Johnson to the basket and scores. Off the steal and laid it in for 2.
Robert Johnson is really the defensive leader on this team. Yogi, no doubt, as an all-on-the-ball defender. I mean, he held Jackson, Demetrius Jackson, 4 of 17 shooting. I don't think we realized how good Yogi was against Notre Dame.
You look at his stat line, kind of quiet, although he hit a big three that tied the game during the closing minutes at 71. Brown athletic. Pretty play by Yonel Brown, reversing and spinning that one high off the glass. Farrell bounces to Bryant and got the roll.
So good. They stay in attack mode. Yogi Farrell doing the Steve Nash, kind of keeping the dribble line. Drops it down. Easy layup for Thomas Bryant.
Ten-point game. Brown had it rejected by Williams. The putback is there for Moreno. After the block from Williams, Moreno stuck with it. His first field goal tonight. Bryant backs it back out. Williams waiting. Can he hit again for three? Rebound run down by Jordan Jones, redshirt sophomore from Alpharetta, Georgia. Backdoor Masterson can't hit the putback for Moreno.
Right there, you just can't get back. You can't get back cut because it forces Thomas Bryant to come over contest, and his man ends up getting the putback.
Kennesaw State hanging with the Hoosiers so far tonight. Blackman in traffic had it rejected, but a foul called. And with that, we'll step aside here in Bloomington.
Well, it starts with Robert Johnson on the defensive end. He really is the catalyst for this defense. You've got it. Notre Dame, they were down. They found a way to fight back, and it was because they played with a sense of urgency on both ends.
7 points now for James Blackman Jr., averaging 16 per game. Indiana as a team shooting 70% at the free throw line this season. Substitution for the Hoosiers. Harrison Diego walk on for the 9th time this season. Diego got a few seconds of playing time in the first half on Saturday.
I walked into the game sitting on the baseline. You know, we did the following game, Butler-Purdue, and he was already in the game.
Inside it goes, and a score for Aubrey Williams. 8.7 rebounds per game. He comes off the bench and connects right away. As Colin Harmon played a good game on Saturday, and Bielfeldt can't hit, but he's fouled.
Going back to the defensive end, though, you look at it and you go, all right, we're going to extend our pressure a little bit. That's fine. Extend your pressure. Just don't get beat off the ball. You cannot get beat off the ball because it leads to a drive dish and an easy layup for Kennesaw State.
Well, Kennesaw State's Kyle Clark. So Bielfeldt at the line, shooting two.
Corey, I'm going to say this. Look, the Hoosier faithful get really frustrated when they see such high-level, high-caliber athletes get beat off the dribble over and over and over again. That's why they get frustrated. Yes, there are some intricacies in terms of where they want to force the play. They may get beat one way because they're trying to force the play that way. These are no help. But really, just keep your man in front. Simple defensive principles, and this is a very good team, in my opinion. If you can defend adequately, this is a top 15 team.
So then what changed there the last few minutes, say the last 10, 12 minutes on Saturday defensively for Indiana to really turn that game around on the defensive end?
Well, look, they went to the zone, they traded off cutters, they traded off passers, and they did a great job just keeping the ball in front. Quite frankly, Notre Dame settled for long shots. They really did because Indiana did a good job of keeping them out.
There's three from Kendrick Ray. Yogi Farrell back on. He will fire. And at that three, Bielfeldt offensive rebound, brought it low, had it stripped, got it back. Shot clock did reset. Bielfeldt in trouble, trying to pass it along the baseline. Knocked out. It'll stay with Indiana. 10:44 to play and 23 to shoot.
I think you're right, though. That's the right question to ask. What changed? Well, yes, they had a couple high-lows that they gave up. They gave up a couple easy passes to the high post. They dump it down. It's a layup for Notre Dame. And then they really started to stay with cutters, and they found success. But it's just a matter of keeping guys in front, limiting easy opportunities for the offense.
Hartman to Bielfeldt. Bounce pass to Farrell along the baseline. Yogi Farrell will shoot two. Foul on Nick Masterson. It's going to be the first on Masterson and the 15th foul.
This is just good ball movement. That's a set play out of bounds underneath. Yogi Farrell just sits in there, finds that he's wide open. Power dribble, almost gets it to go.
Well, BTN has you covered all week long as we get you up to speed in all things college sports every night at 6 Eastern. Join the conversation on BTN Live weeknights on BTN and BTN to go. OG Anunoby. Indiana checks in. Diego will sit. And Anunoby a key rebound, 2 points. If you just picked up the paper and saw Anunoby's stat line, didn't watch the game, you think? Not much, but he had a couple of critical possessions during that run with Bryant on the bench. Most notably that putback dunk on that lengthy offensive possession.
I'll tell you, if you're not in the core, meaning when I say core, I mean 5 or 6 guys. If you're not in the top 5, 6, maybe even 7, all you got to do is come in and be good. You don't have to be great. Just come in, take care of the basketball. You see Yogi turn the ball over there. Take care of the basketball. No turnovers. Get rebounds defensively. Don't let your man beat you to the basket. So to come in as the 8th man off the bench, just be good. Don't try to be spectacular. And he's done just that. He's been great.
First turnover tonight for Indiana, averaging 15 per game.
It's the careless turnovers that they really have to improve upon. It's careless turnovers that lead to a run out of light.
Earl himself, he had 5 turnovers. Over the weekend, Kendrick Ray guarded by Anunoby, and a foul will be called. And they're going to get freshman from Jefferson City, a guy who was born in London, moved to Jefferson City, Missouri at the age of 4. Anunoby picks up his first.
A lot of people go from London to Jefferson City, Missouri. You grow up in London. I'm a Man U fan, but all I want to do is move to Missouri.
Second ever meeting between these two teams. In fact, they met exactly 2 years ago here. Indiana winning that game, 1966. Aubrey Williams, sure junior from Bowie, Maryland. Now to Kyle Clark against Bielfeldt. He'll drive. Williams, tough pass to Corral. It's going to stay with the Owls at 8 to shoot. Now stay tuned at the half for the State Farm halftime report. Dave Revson just settled the breakdown of the first half and look ahead to a big game coming up later on tonight. Game 2 of our doubleheader, Purdue and Vanderbilt. West Lafayette game 2 later tonight here on BTN. Boilermakers coming off their first loss, losing to Butler in the second game of the Crossroads Classic after Indiana beat Notre Dame. Farrell pushing all the way with the left hand and scores.
That's impressive. Little guy pushing it all the way downhill and finishes with the left hand amongst the trees.
Tough jumper for Brown, doesn't go. And Anunoby the rebound. Here comes Yogi again. He's got friends, and he finds one in Bryant. 3-on-1 down the floor. Farrell to Bryant. Indiana by 11, the largest lead tonight.
They say reward your big for running the floor. Well, he was out in front. That was just too easy. Great feed by Yogi. Easy dunk opportunity for Thomas Bryant.
I saw Bryant, too, back down the floor. Not shy about showing the emotion either. He skies and pulls down the rebound, and a foul will be called on Kennesaw State's Kyle Clark.
I mean, you want emotion from a freshman. If he's not emotional, then you've got problems. As you see Yogi all downhill, putting pressure on the defense. If you don't stop the ball, he's going to bury you. And then you got Thomas Bryant, feed the big fella running the floor, and yeah, show a little emotion. If you're stoic and you're a freshman, I have no room for you on the court. I can at least temper your emotions so long as there's something there. Stoic is unemotionless, just to make sure you know.
I got it.
I think I just said unemotionless. Getting close to the holidays here.
Seislov hands it off for Hartman.
That's like irregardless. Without regard.
Keep going, Britannica. You're on a roll right now. Farrell for 3.
So is he.
7 for Yogi Farrell. He needs 11 more to move it to 13th place all-time in Indiana scoring history. That spot currently occupied by Greg Graham. Needed 18 tonight. Farrell with 7.
I think Yogi's done a great job with so much talent on the floor, being patient and kind of taking the right opportunities. I almost think he's better, though, when he takes tough shots. I mean, he really gets aggressive offensively, takes tough shots. Good defense there.
Brown misses badly on the 3, but that will step aside. Yogi Farrell and the Hoosiers looking for win number 10 here in the non-conference portion.
Job being active offensively, running the floor, and you know his guards have found it. You run the floor, you reward the big man. Yeah, he's going to have a good night.
Already 12 points, 5 of 5 shooting his season and career high. 19 game against St. John's. About the only thing that went right for the Hoosiers in Maui was that win over St. John's back in late November. Robert Johnson back on the floor, navigating, and that pass off the fingertips of Bryant, and now the Owls push. Masterson against Farrell, stops, can't hit, partially blocked by Anunoby, and Bryant clears.
Great job. OG Anunoby retreating on the play and saving it with a good block.
Anunoby, tough pass for Bryant, saved, it comes back to Bryant, 2 more.
That's the high school coach head scratcher right there. It's one of those things, never save the ball under your own basket. Well, that's why. Unless it's obvious, unless you see your man right there.
Bryant has 14 of Indiana's 38. Aubrey Williams, Masterson. Now Morena reverses and scores. Use the rim to help get defenders out of his way.
Well, that was something Coach Skinner said he could do that. He could make plays. He kind of has that length, kind of the game of Troy Williams.
Averaging 5 per game. Bryant to Williams.
Best plays a broken play. Right. It's like a missed handoff that ends up in the end zone.
Williams now with 8. Bielfeldt and Blackman back in at the next whistle. Ray can't hit. Indiana 2 players there. Instead it comes back to Williams. Doesn't get the roll, and now Bryant rips down the rebound. His 3rd rebound. Williams will drive around Morena and lay it in. He could have settled for the deep 3 that time. He said, forget that. I'm taking it inside.
He is just so hard when he's playing downhill. I mean, just puts it on the deck, gets low. 2, drop down, and get Thomas Bryant involved with some easy baskets.
Williams 10 points, 3 assists so far for the junior from Hampton, Virginia. Skinner calling time to keep the Owls in this game. Aaron shot off the mark with a long rebound run down by Kendrick Ray. And the bounce inside. Williams scores over Zeisloft. 4 points for Williams. Troy Williams pushes, leaves it for Blackman. He can't hit. Johnson the tap. And a foul. This is going to be on Bielfeldt. That'll be his first. Pursuing a master's degree in business. Year number 1 with Indiana after graduating undergrad degree at Michigan. Bielfeldt 6'8", 240, averaging 8 points, 4 rebounds for that man, Tom Crean of the Hoosiers this season.
Have you seen Bielfeldt's calves? We talked about that at shoot-around too. His calves are like tree trunks.
Morena. Yonel Brown knocks it down. Brown now with 7. On 3 of 7 shooting, and again, Indiana wasting little time. Quick answer down the floor, but the Owls get back defensively. And Morena giving Williams all sorts of space on the perimeter. As Williams captures. 8 to shoot, off the shot fake. Bielfeldt, no, but a foul.
About the big fundamental there. Bielfeldt not going to do anything too quickly, but the head fake, gets some popcorn poppers, flies up in the air, leads to an opportunity to get 2 from the foul line. Look at this. Watch the fundamentals. Everybody watch. First off, Troy Williams has to shoot that shot, but pump fake, gets him to go, gets a body. I mean, it might not have jumped over a piece of paper there, but...
Second foul on Morena, 2-shot foul, but Indiana now in the bonus the rest of the way, 17 fouls on Kennesaw State. State Farm halftime report coming up at the break with Dave and Jess. Look ahead to game 2 of our doubleheader. That's coming up after this one here tonight, Purdue and Vanderbilt. The State Farm halftime report. Dave Repson, Jess Settles have that for you in Chicago at intermission.
Nobody wants to play a top 15 after they got beat. You know Purdue's going to come back with a little extra something tonight.
Vanderbilt, good 3-point shooting team. Kevin Stallings, there are ties there. He played at Purdue. Gene Cady, late 70s, early 80s. I read that Vanderbilt's first trip to West Lafayette since the late 1920s. Bielfeldt the foul. That's going to be his second.
I wasn't around for that.
Sean Morris was, and he's going to be calling that game tonight. Here's Kendrick Ray. The line here. Thomas Bryant back in for Indiana. Carroll's going to come back in. Bielfeldt will leave. Robert Johnson will also depart.
Kennesaw State's done a good job of actually scoring the basketball because they're moving the ball. Against the matchup zone, you've got to move the ball and you've got to move bodies. You've got to play against it as if it's a man, and they've done just that, forcing Indiana to communicate better to take them out of what they want to do offensively.
The Owls predicted to finish tied for last in the Atlantic Sun this season. North Florida, the overwhelming favorite to win that league. Williams on the drive, number 4 to play. Blackman bobbled, recovered, and a foul will be called. He tried to set up Bryant inside, and with that, we'll step aside. It's going to be on Kendrick Ray. And we'll step aside here in Bloomington, Indiana, by 14 here on BT.
May be the same, but if you're Greg Gard, this audition opportunity, you've got to be able to do certain things differently to show what you can do as a head coach and show that you're not just doing what Bo Ryan did.
One front end miss by Blackman Jr. Speaking of Wisconsin and the coaching staff, congratulations to our BTN colleague Howard Moore, who is going to join that staff officially. That news was announced today, so congratulations to Howard joining that coaching staff in Madison. All knocked free, and Kyle Clark collides with Zeisloft, and a foul will be charged on the redshirt senior from Grange, Illinois, the transfer from Illinois State. Zeisloft picks up a personal foul.
There are times where it gets a little sloppy if there's no spacing, and right there, Indiana didn't have spacing, so the passing lanes aren't there. Defensively, I think Indiana's just got to protect the basket. If there's too much going to the basket, it's what hurt them against Duke. It's certainly hurting them tonight against Kennesaw State.
5 team fouls, and I think it's 6 now in Indiana. Reina was fouled on the drive.
It's a good thing that you're not fouling a lot. Yeah, that's great. They're not shooting one-on-one, but at the same time, if you're letting them drive by you, that's an issue. I'd rather you foul than give up a layup.
Was called on the floor on Bryant. Ray can't get free of Farrell. This is a 3 from Brown in the corner. Yonel Brown now at 10. Kennesaw State within 9.
And look, Indiana's going to put up 50 points this half, but you've got to be able to defend.
Hartman drives. Zeisloft passed up for 3. And now Farrell navigating. Into the corner it goes for Hartman. He draws attention, leaves Farrell open. And Brown lost it off his heel. Nope, off his knee. It'll go back to Indiana.
Great job by Yogi, but really just taking the air there out of the pressure. Good execution out of bounds underneath, but for Indiana, again, you have to know where shooters are. You know a shooter's coming off of a double screen. That means the guy covering the ball has to help over there to make sure you don't give him an opportunity to step into a shot.
Kennesaw State averaging only 64 points per game. They're giving up 78 points per game. .13 to shoot for Indiana. 2:18 to play. Hoosiers open up Big Ten play. 8 days at Rutgers, 1 week from tomorrow. Hartman to Williams. And his pass deflected and stolen by Brown. 2-on-1. Brown dumps it inside. Kendrick Ray scores, and the Owls are within 7. It's a 9-0 Kennesaw State run. Timeout, Indiana.
He gets up in the air, and you never pass the ball while up in the air. You throw it away, it leads to a layup.
That's 5 Indiana possessions, and they add to it. Now 3 turnovers. They have not hit a field goal. Off the glass, Ray, no. Hartman the rebound. Farrell against Brown. Bounce inside to Bryant. 14 points. He feeds Bielfeldt. Rejected and stays in bounds for Kennesaw State. lane, and he walked.
Now, the last two possessions for Indiana, they've tried to get the ball inside. First one was a bad pass and a turnover. Second one, Yogi Ferrell probes, pulls it out, feeds it inside. I'd let him go to work. I would let Thomas Bryant go to work. I wouldn't send a cutter his way. Just space out, let him go to work.
Bryant's hit on all 6 of his field goal tries.
You also have to keep him engaged. He's a freshman. Keep him engaged in the process.
Farrell over Brown. Next down the 3. That's a 2. Put on the line.
I say about him taking and making tough shots. He seems like he's better when you give him some ISO opportunities. Say, go get me a bucket.
Preseason All-American now at 9. Under a minute to play. Lead is 9 for Indiana. Jordan Jones to Yonel Brown. Lead score number 4 in black. It's a tough 2 for Jones. It's off the mark. Offensive rebound. Morena. Slow it down with Clark. Brown off the screen. Inside it goes, and Morena brought it down. And a foul called in Indiana. That'll stop play with 29 seconds to go.
Seems as if Kennesaw State is just comfortable. They're comfortable working the offense. They're comfortable making some things happen. They're comfortable cutting through the lane. And clearly, you've got to credit Al Skinner. He's done a great job with this group. They've got a lot to learn. They've got a ways to go. This is his first year with the program. But they seem to be picking up what they want to do. The problem, if you're Indiana, is Kennesaw State's doing what they want to do. Defensively, you have to be able to take teams out of what they want to do. And I think they did just that in the second half of the Notre Dame game, where that matchup's over.
Indiana is led by as many as 18. 8-point game. Shot clock is off. Hoosiers can hold for the last shot. 20 seconds to go for Farrell. Farrell with 9 on 3 of 5 shooting. He started the offense with 8 to play. Bielfeldt. Pass on the 3. Inside it goes to Bryant with 2, and a foul will be called on Kennesaw State. That'll stop the clock with 1.6 to play. And it's going to be on Jordan Jones, his first. And Bryant at the line will shoot 2.
Interesting they go to Thomas Bryant here with only a second and a half on the clock, but they executed the way they wanted to, got the ball inside. You got to think that coming out in the second half, that's something they're going to do. They started the game very well. They got the ball inside. They got easy baskets. Thomas Bryant shoots it at a high percentage. Got to get him back involved in this offense.
Ball knocked out. That was still a 1-and-1. His team foul number 9. So this is the front end, and so Kennesaw State get a chance. It's 5/10 of a second remaining. Williams guards the inbounder. It comes to Brown, and that'll take us to the break. Kennesaw State ends the half in a 14-4 run. Indiana again led by 18 at 1 point, but the lead at the half. To finish up that point. In Kennesaw State's most recent game, losing at Chattanooga, they were soundly out-rebounded. Overall, on the offensive glass, but a 10-3 edge in the offensive glass alone. Big part of why the Owls are very much in this game. Colin Hartman starts the second half for the Hoosiers, hands it off to Bryant. Now Hartman gets it back. Along the baseline, Williams catches in traffic, scores in 1.
That's good aggression to start the second half on the offensive end, but ultimately it comes down to, we said sense of urgency on the defensive end. They sure seem to be playing with a sense of urgency offensively. They're playing downhill. You see, I mean, that's 2 dribble drives in 1 play, and you find Troy Williams, who's cut to the basket, and he will finish more times than not. But on the defensive end, you've got to have a sense of urgency. You look at the rebounding. That really says a lot to me. Rebounding is effort. And if you're getting out-rebounded by Kennesaw State, that is simply effort. You hope that you can bounce back second half, just like they did against Notre Dame. Have a strong second half.
Foul was on Bernard Morena, but the injured player, Kendrick Ray, you see him down. Just outside the baseline and getting some help off the floor. Kennesaw State, not a very deep team. They're missing an important player again tonight, as Nigel Pruitt is out for the 6th straight game, sidelined with a foot injury. Williams misses the free throw. Bryant battling for the rebound, and it'll go to Indiana.
And you hope Kendrick Gray is okay with Pruitt there out with the foot injury. Kendrick Gray had a great first half, 13 points, 5 of 9 shooting. He played all 20 minutes. So they really need him back in this game. He's getting checked out on the bench right now.
And Pruitt's going to be an important piece for Al Skinner during conference play, averaging 9 and 4 per contest. So off the missed free throw, Indiana gets a chance. Blackman, no. Rebound, knocked free. And Yonel Brown is going to be fouled. They may get Hartman. And they will. That's going to be the second on the junior from Indianapolis, Colin Hartman. Let's go back and see Kendrick Gray again.
Yeah, he really is key for this team. Like I said, had a great first half, very aggressive. And Al Skinner even said it. He's a playmaker. He's a guy that can make things happen, and we need him to make our teammates better.
I mentioned early tonight that Kendrick Gray, a very athletic family. His brother Alan Gray played at Villanova. His sister Brittany went to a Final Four at Rutgers. Kyle Clark back on the floor. Gray's absence. Shot clock is late. It's under 5 for Brown. Against Farrell. Shoots over him and scores. Brown now with 12. That's a tough 2.
That's a tough 2. I mean, giving Yogi Ferrell a dose of his own medicine with the dribble drive, pull up 15-footer.
Brown now 3 away from 1,000 in his career low. Pass and a turnover.
Those are the turnovers. Careless passing. Those are bad turnovers. You saw a great charge taken by Yogi Ferrell there, but careless turnovers, and sometimes that happens when you're going too fast. It's understandable. You got to learn how to play fast. You got to learn how to take care of the ball on the run. But Yogi Ferrell doing a great job here in position. That's an obvious call.
Second on Brown. Kennesaw State's leading scorer, averaging 17 per game. 8-point game. 90 seconds gone by, second half. Hartman bounces inside to Bryant. Finds Williams. He finds Bryant. And a foul. Now Kendrick Gray may be on the sideline right now, but here's a picture of that great family. Alan there in white tank top. See the Rutgers logo. Sister Brittany, a Final Four from Vivian Stringer. Gray transferred from Quinnipiac. Sat out last year. He is back in the locker room getting examined. Kennesaw State going back to the bench. This is Aubrey Williams returning, and Bernard Moreno will leave.
There's something to be said, too, about the comeback against Notre Dame. The way Indiana plays, the tempo, the pace. They're probably one of the, I'll say it fittest. I think you know what I'm saying. They're one of the most fit teams in the country. They work out hard. They play fast. They run up and down the floor. You watch their shoot around. There's a lot of energy. And eventually that wears teams down. I think that had something to do with Notre Dame falling apart. Notre Dame starting to settle for bad shots down the stretch because of the tempo and the pace. Tom Crean says we want to bring fatigue to the game. Well, they did just that. And you expect to see a team like Kennesaw State slow down here towards the end of the game.
Ended that game on Saturday, a 17-2 run as Jordan Jones knocks down the baseline jumper. Here's that pace. Indiana doesn't play back. 6-point game.
It's almost as if Indiana doesn't even know that. They continue to play with the same pace, which is good. They keep playing downhill.
Blackman can't hit. Williams trying to corral the rebound. He cannot. It'll belong to the Owls. So Kennesaw State undermanned. Hanged up with a few injuries right now, yet Tom Crean and his Hoosiers in a tight game early this half. 6-point game.
You look at the last possession that Kennesaw State scored on. It's a ball screen that 2 guys went with the ball, and it's a wide open pop opportunity with a jumper. So miscommunication, but also the effort's got to be there. If you scramble, play with your hair on fire, this team with this much talent is going to have a lot of success.
Ron Morgan, 13 for the Hoosiers, on the floor for the first time tonight. Morgan hasn't played much this month. He's been sidelined with a leg injury. He is all over Jordan Jones. Nearly got a 5 count.
And you hear the crowd likes it. You know, know, the Hoosier faithful like the energy, they like the effort that Juwan Morgan just brought on that play.
And there's a good defensive possession for Indiana.
And listen to it. They appreciate it. That's what they want to see because they know this team can score the basketball. They've got to be able to defend if they want to win a Big Ten championship.
You know, Jones just fouled Thomas Bryant. Jones picks up his second.
But that energy right there, Juwan Morgan getting out there, the energy, the effort, the rest of the team picks it up. The rest of the team follows suit.
Morgan inside, and he is fouled. And they're going to whistle Aubrey Williams. Juwan Morgan has played in just 7 games. Leg injury. Keeping him out this month. It's already 5 team fouls on the Owls here early second half.
This is a good job just making the cut behind the defense. See man-see ball, he just did it again. He was wide open.
Bryant using that size. Shoots, no, and there's a whistle. Came rather late. Thomas Bryant, 14 points. A couple. It's going to be on Jones again, and team foul number 6.
Thomas Bryant, look, if you're going to have one-on-one opportunities, everybody else just has to space out. And look, that's the right call. How's that not a foul? Everybody acts surprised. Surprise face emoji every time a whistle gets blown.
And Al Skinner has just been whistled for technical foul. Larry Serrato was giving veteran coach a long leash. Eventually heard too much and just teed up Al Skinner. Already some free throws upcoming for Bryant after the foul. And now Yogi Ferrell will shoot the technical. As the conversation continues between Skinner and Larry Serrato, our officials here tonight.
You ever see bad lip reading? Some
Yeah.
great opportunities for bad lip reading here with officials and coaches.
Indiana had missed 5 straight free throw attempts before Ferrell knocks that one down. Ferrell now at 11. Overall here tonight, 86% at the free throw line. And now Bryant will shoot the 2. So the Hoosiers end up with John in this possession. 6-point game, and Bryant was going to the line, a 67% free throw shooter. That could be a key play and maybe a turning point in this game as he knocks it down.
This is what Coach Al Skinner was mad about, but he doesn't get what we got, and that is slow-mo and 5 looks at it. It was a foul.
So after the technical, Ferrell made 2, then Bryant makes 2, and the lead is back to 10. Masterson guarded by Johnson. Here's Clark. His pass deflected out of bounds. He'll stay with the Owls at 14 to shoot. Have the Hoosiers made any adjustments defensively? I know it's early here in the second half.
Look, the only adjustment they have to make is effort. You look at the players, the pieces on the floor. Every one of these guys can defend if they want to. They just have to choose to do it and buy in. I like Juwan Morgan and Rob Johnson on the floor. 2 guys who will defend and play with a lot of energy.
Brown in traffic with 7 and 1. Yonel Brown, that's what he can do. And he draws the contact, lays it up and in. He'll be at the line for a 3-point chance. And also one more free throw will give him 1,000 in his collegiate career.
He doesn't. And this is where they have to figure out, you know, Juwan Morgan, are you staying with the ball or are you hedging flat? And Yogi Ferrell's got to get over the top. That's something they have to figure out because late clock situations, you have a guy with the ball, you have to get the ball out of his hands.
1,000 career points for Yonel Brown. Congratulations to the senior. Still Georgia. Foul was on Bryant, his second. Here's Hartman driving on Clark. And this will go the other way. Moving screen on Hartman to give the Owls the possession. 3rd foul on Hartman.
It's really hard to play without fouling these days because, look, I mean, you're trying to set a screen. You're actually rolling. I mean, that's a switch. Kennesaw State switched that play. Hartman reads the switch. He's just rolling in a pop situation, and he runs into Yonel Brown.
Jones to Aubrey Williams. Brown trying to get free of Farrell, but great defense by the senior, denying him the ball, and now Brown has it. Giving him nothing to work with. Williams will fake from 18, drive in traffic, offensive foul and charge. Colin Hartman took the charge. And Aubrey Williams whistled for his second. Another good defensive stand for Indiana.
It's a good defensive stand. Get your feet out of the restricted arc. That's close. But good job, Colin Hartman, avoiding picking up 2 straight fouls.
Technically, if a defender has his foot either on the line or even over the line, that is technically in the restricted arc.
It's like the goal line, right?
Right. Hartman had that foot just outside. He drew the charge. Johnson's been quiet tonight. Lobs inside for Bryant. Brings it down, back up. No contact. We play on. Still no Kendrick Ray for Kennesaw State. He left early this half with an injury. The Owls losing a needed score. Shot clock is at 5. Williams in trouble. Jones has to force, not even close. And it'll be a 30-second shot clock violation, and that will take us to a break here in Bloomington. Al Skinner and his Owls, they're in this game.
Indiana pulls away. They're just too good. They're too deep. They can score the basketball, but you can't let a team like Kennesaw State hang around.
Since 2005, that's the year that Kennesaw State transitioned into Division I play. They had beaten just one major conference team and won for Robert Johnson. Just to finish up that thought, that was a win over Georgia Tech in 2010.
I just feel like this team is a better team when Robert Johnson's on the floor. You know, he does things offensively, averaging 11.2 points a game over the last 5 games. Think of this. He's shooting 62% from 3 over the last 5 games. That's a ridiculous number. But defensively, they're a better team when he's on the floor.
Interesting that Johnson has yet to attempt a 3 tonight. Considering where he ranks nationally, Big Ten, he has not attempted a 3-point shot tonight. He has 5 points to lead back to 10. Now Morgan bumps Brown, and John Morgan, freshman from Waynesville, Missouri, picks up his first.
That's a tough one right there, too, because that's something where players have to learn how to get out there quicker, because they are calling that every time, impeding the progress of the ball handler. They're going to call it every single time, so you have to be in position early.
First on Morgan, 4th team foul in Indiana. Hands it off for Masterson. Right there is Johnson. Shot clock again late. Brown trying to create with 3. Draws attention. Jones for 2. That's a deep 2 for Jordan Jones. He's got 6. Indiana trying to counter quickly. Farrell around Clark. High off the glass. No. Bryant's tap is there. Bryant now with 18 on 7 of 8 shooting.
Kennesaw State looking to play a little tempo ball here, pushing it down the floor, because right now a couple good defensive possessions for Indiana. Yes, they just scored, but that little moon ball range shot, you can live with that. Late shot, late clock situations, that's fine. Good defense.
Williams at the scorer's table. He will check in.